Yes. So we're going to discuss our Bhagavad Gita's chapter 1, text number 2. So please chant after me. Sanjay Vacha
Sanjay Vacha
Drishtva tu Pandavanekam
Drishtva tu Pandavanikam
Vyudham Duryodhanastada
Vyudham Duryodhanastatha
Acharyam Upasangamya
Acharyam Upasangamya
Raja Vachanam Abravit
Raja Vachanam Abravit
Sanjay Vacha
Sanjay Vacha
Drishtva tu Pandavanekam
Drishtva tu Pandavanikam
Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya
Acharyam Upasangamya
Raja Vachanam Abravit
Raja Vachanam Abravit.
So yesterday Dhritarashtra had asked the question, what did they do after assembling in the war field of Kurukshetra and Dharmkshetra? We understood the meaning and relevance of the words Dharmkshetra and Kurukshetra. Now what did Sanjay said? Sanjay Ovacha means Sanjay said, Drishtva, having seen, Drishtva tu Pandava Nikam, but after seeing the Pandava Nikam, Anikam means phalanx or Anikam means armies. But seeing the armies of the Pandavas, Vyudham means arranged very nicely. Duryodhanas tada means then. Then Duryodhan, seeing the armies of Pandavas very nicely, then Duryodhan went to Acharya. Acharyam Upasangamya. He went close to the Acharya. Acharya here refers to Srila Dronacharya. Raja Vachanam Abravit. And Raja, now Raja means king normally. So you can, Vachanam means words, Abravit means he spoke. So that Raja or that king Duryodhan spoke. But you may raise the question, Duryodhan is not the king. King was Dhritarashtra. So why he's called Raja? Very nicely. It will be explained in the commentary. Because he was very expert in politics just like a king. So he was not the king. King was Dhritarashtra. But because he was expert in politics like the king, that's why he's called Raja. Okay? You will see later on, Yudhishthira Maharaj will also be called Raja. But he's not Raja. He doesn't have any empire. So why he's called Raja, we will see later on. Okay. One second. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Before we enter into the commentary, look into the consciousness of Duryodhan. For 12 years, Pandavas were in exile. And in 13th year, they were in incognito exile. And now, after that 13th year, they had sent Lord Krishna to the Kauravas to make an amendment. And soon after that, this is a whole battle. And within very short time, they have amassed such a big army. What is the ratio? 11 and 7. It was not too less also. 7 Akshahonis of Pandavas against the 11 Akshahonis of Kauravas. So he was very much surprised. So that's why he became fearful, and now he goes to the Acharya, Dronacharya. Yes. And he spoke the following words. Following words will be next shloka. The pious Sanjay could understand that Dhritarashtra, blind from birth, but having the eye of wisdom, was now blind with illusion because of loss of wisdom concerning dharma. Can you answer? Okay, Dhritarashtra may had some wisdom because he had association of Vidura. But why he was blinded with illusion now? Before, just pause a bit here and think about it. Why Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying that Dhritarashtra is under an illusion? I'll give a hint from the first shloka we discussed yesterday. He asked a strange question. He knows that in Dharmakshetra his sons are going to get defeated, but still he has hopes that they will win. He has hopes that they will win. He's seeing that Krishna is on the sides of Pandavas and still he has hopes that they will win. It's an illusion. Also, if he would have been little bit wise, both Kauravas and Pandavas would have lived happily. He could have told Duryodhana, make an amendment. You know that pastime where Krishna said, okay, they are Kshatriyas, they cannot be Brahmanas, they cannot beg. Let give them 5 villages and they will live happily. So at least Dhritarashtra could have said, Duryodhana, you must agree to it. But he did not. So out of illusion, only out of attachment to his son, he could not discern what is dharma. So all these points are hidden in this commentary, what Srila Acharya is saying. He was thus worried that his son would give the kingdom to the Pandavas. Therefore, understanding, you know that because of the influence of Dharmashetra, he was doubtful. And also we remember that he was having animosity towards Pandavas who were also actually his sons, in a sense, because he was sons of his brother. Therefore, understanding this, Sanjay, fixed in dharma, gave satisfaction to Dhritarashtra by saying that his son would certainly not give the kingdom to the Pandavas. Now, how to relate to that? Drishtvatu Pandavanikam. So now you see, after seeing the armies of Pandavas, is not that Duryodhan was fearful, or is not that Duryodhan had changed his mind to not fight. Rather, he has gone to Dronacharya to encourage him to fight. Are you able to see this in the shloka? That's how it is mentioned. Duryodhana, expert in political affairs or Rajniti, seeing the arrangement of the troops of the Pandavas, personally approached the teacher Drona, who had given instructions to him from Dhanurveda and spoke some words. He was not actually the king Raja. So what was that? I explained this point. Why is being called Raja here? Because he's expert in Rajniti. He is not the Raja. Raja was Dhritarashtra. He spoke a few brief words, carefully selected with deep import. He refers to Duryodhana. Yes, be careful about it. He had inner fear caused by seeing the strength of the Pandavas' troops, which is shown by his personally approaching Drona. See, if the army was very small, he could have just said, okay, start the war and we'll fight. But now seeing the great phalanx, you understand, the whole arrangement of armies, he is also now intimated. Oh, such a big army. How will we win over them? We should make some strategy. So he has that fear in his heart, and that's why now he's going to the Acharya. But he attempted to hide that fear by showing that he had come personally out of respect to Guru. You see, that's how his Rajniti. In the coming shlokas, you will see how he's actually using sarcasm against his own spiritual master. He has no respect for the Guru also. He has no respect, but he's showing respect. This is how demon will always behave. So what I wanted to say was that there are two things we are seeing. He is fearful, seeing the armies, and to hide that fear, he is showing as if he's approaching his Guru out of respect. This is called duplicity. You can very clearly see the demon. This act displayed his clever use of politics, Rajniti, which has been indicated by addressing him as a Raja. It's very clear? Okay. Purport. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. It's a beautiful point. There have been many saints who were actually blind from birth. Do you remember? Surdas Ji. Surdas was blind from birth. Bilva Mangala Thakur, not from birth, but he was actually blind later on. But they had a spiritual vision. And real blindness is not the blindness of eyes. It's the blindness of spiritual vision, which is actually, what is that? Most prevalent in this world, is it not? People just cannot see. Do you agree, Amarnath Prabhu, that people cannot see? Or can you see that people cannot see? Have you heard such shlokas in Bhagavad Gita? Pashyan api na pashyati. I think it's in Bhagavatam, yes. Pashyan api na pashyati. They are seeing that the Baba has died, my mother has died, everybody is going to die, and I think I will enjoy. At least I will not die today. Like this. And that's why later on he was given the vision by the mercy of Vidoji, who used very strong words against him. Then he gives up his kingdom. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjay could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Are you noticing this point? He is under the illusion that somehow the Pandavas are on the path of dharma and they are on the path of adharma, but somehow that it is possible that that place may influence the mati means intelligence of their adharmic bad sons called Kauravas. So just to dissipate that doubt, Sanjay is speaking. Sanjay wanted therefore to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Can you point out what was the cause of possible cause of despondency of King Dhritarashtra? Despondency, you understand? Despondency means lack of enthusiasm, feeling very sad. That is called despondent. So why the king was despondent? What is the possible cause? He was fearful that maybe, see, that we should remember, he did not want to give the kingdom to the Pandavas. So he was feeling sad, maybe my sons might get influenced by Dharmkshetra and maybe this battle will not happen and maybe the Pandavas will win, and all those things were there. So just to encourage, Sanjay is saying, no, my dear Prabhu, they will fight. That his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjay therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhan, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhan is mentioned as a king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. What was the seriousness of the situation? What did you learn? Yes, the Pandavas had amassed 7 Akshauhinis of armies. It's a very serious thing. How we are going to tackle the situation? I'll give an example. Both of you cook prasadam. Suppose you have cooked for 600 people and 800 people are there outside. What is your expectancy? 600 people. And there are 800 people. So will all of us not come together? You will go to the Acharya, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu. Acharya Upasangam ya Raja Vachanam Pravit. So Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, what should I do? Now 800 people are there. We expected only 600 people. Are we not doing that? Are we not doing that? That's natural. The same thing. But we are not having a battle there. But I'm just saying that that's natural. So similarly, he was not expecting. He was surprised. How could Pandavas, being out of politics for 13 years, how they can collect such a big army, and not that like chullu mullu soldiers, like strong soldiers. Chullu mullu means like useless soldiers, not that anybody has collected. They're strong soldiers. So how to win over them like that? He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhan's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. A veneer, it means a covering. It's like a curtain. So what was the diplomatic veneer we learned? It appeared that he went to the Acharya out of respect. But why did he go? Because he was fearful. So I made a discussion small today because I wanted to keep it as in suspense or whatever, that what did Duryodhana spoke. And there are many subtle meanings into what he spoke that we're going to discuss today. Any questions are there up till now? Oh, so today's class was very small and short. So thank you all very much. Are there any questions on YouTube? So what did you learn today? They are not going to make an amendment, and Duryodhan was fearful and he wanted to hide this fear by his diplomatic words. He is called Raja because he's expert in Rajniti. He was not real Raja. And Duryodhan, what is his name? Dhritarashtra was blind really because of he has no wisdom. And what will Duryodhana speak? He will speak 2 or 3, how many shlokas? 2 or 3 shlokas? and they're very interesting. So tomorrow's class we'll try to cover, I think maybe 4 or 5. Let's see how much slokas we can cover. That will be longer class, and we'll discuss this tomorrow. Okay, so we shall stop here. Thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.